So our producers want us to read this. What you are about to enjoy or hate is simply three friends talking football and talking out their asses. Opinions mostly is for entertainment purposes only. We may offer great insights into the NFL and perspectives no one else has. Possible side effects do include feelings getting hurt, being offended, and losing respect for one another.
Hello, opinions, mostly what is going on. We are back for another episode here of the show. Unfortunately, yours truly is going to be running it solo dolo tonight. We have some people with some housing issues and some maintenance that needs to be basically addressed. So I will be running the show tonight and for this week. So let's roll right into it, shall we? All right, leading off here. Um, Obviously, this is playoff week, one of the most exciting times of the football year. Week 18 had some clinching situations and seeding situations for certain teams that were playing that week. But here we are. Here is the playoff bracket, ladies and gentlemen. Starting with the AFC, the Broncos. That's right, the Denver Broncos, the team that it seems like the whole country is just questioned. And so week one, all the way through to the end of the season, clinches the number one seed for the playoffs. The next games, we have the 3-6 game, the Buffalo Bills going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That will be definitely an interesting game. But if Buffalo loses, if Sean McDermott loses his job, I mean, how much Superman does Josh Allen need to play in this game? And we got the red hot Jacksonville Jaguars coming in here, 13-4. Duval County is rocking. They are pumped. They are hyped for this home playoff game. I don't remember. I think the last time the Jags had a home playoff game, I'll tip my head. Yes, it was the Blake Bortles years when they were in the AFC Championship game against Tom Brady and the Pats, and they had a 3rd and 9 to convert, and they couldn't convert it. That was the closest chance that they had in a while to get to the Super Bowl. So big home game for the Jags to proceed here. Next playoff matchup in the AFC, we have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to New England. It is going to be bitter cold. Justin Herbert, he better be ready for that bitter cold, man. Let me tell you. This will be an interesting matchup with the newly shaped New England Patriots that we had some doubt about, but obviously proved all the naysayers and the haters wrong. Drake May, his first playoff game and playoff run that he's going to be going into, which would I think we can all anticipate will be a long playoff run that he's going to have career-wise. And then you got Justin Herbert and the Jags or the Chargers. I mean, we're talking about a team decimated at the offensive line. I picked against them numerous times late in the season. Lo and behold, they still found a way to win. So all the credit to them. They are getting healthy offensively. They have their running backs coming back, wide receivers room getting healthy, offensive line, the backups are getting healthy again. But this one will be an interesting game. Let's see if the Patriots can dial up a pass rush to get to Herbert. And then we got this game here, the Texan the Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, Sunday Night Football, huge game. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wins off of a missed field goal from Baltimore, which was a gimme. Had other ramifications we'll get into later in the episode. But how about that? Aaron Rodgers solidifying again another playoff game at the very minimum. With the way the Steelers have performed in recent memory, it could be a one and done. But they do get DK Metcalf back, so it is going to be tough. It's a tough hill to climb, especially going against that Texans defense. It'll be interesting to see what Pittsburgh defense is going to be able to dial up and dial in against CJ Stroud. They are playing in Pittsburgh. It's going to be cold weather. I had questions about Houston earlier this year when they played against Kansas City on Sunday Night Football. They proved me wrong. So it looks like they're cold ready. CJ Stroud, he's from Ohio State. He's used to cold weather, man. Let's not get too carried away here. All right, moving to the NFC, we have the Seattle Seahawks clinching 14-3. Yeah, whatever. Okay, say what you want to say. Damn Darnold, they got lucky on this booth play review with the backwards pass with the Rams. I mean, what's going on there? Another question for another day. Anywho, we're moving into the playoff bracket or matchups here. First game in the NFC West or NFC playoff bracket. My Rams go to Carolina, 8-9. I mean, I think the betting public, I think we all know which way that's steered to, but can you guys believe 10.5 points is what the Rams are giving for this game? 10.5 point favorite on the road. Oof, that's a lot of points. If you're, Nick hasn't mentioned anything, but if I'm him, you doing shark chomp, I'd probably stay away from that bet. 10.5, that's a lot of points, especially for a playoff game. But the Panthers have been hit and miss, right? They've been on a run where they win one, lose one, and then they just recently lost two in a row when they lost the Bucks on Saturday, last Saturday for Week 18. Um, yeah, so I mean, we'll see. Rams are getting healthy. We're bringing back Devontae Adams. We're bringing back our strong safety from IR as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Uh, Two players that weren't there the first time around, and I think this was I think that game was a wake up call for the Rams. Definitely, the Panthers are not a team to overlook. So we'll see what's going on with that. Next game we have the Bears are facing off against the Packers in Chicago. Randy, Nick, Packer loyal. When was the last time Packers played the Bears in the playoffs at Chicago? I think it was 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. I think that was when Aaron Rodgers went on the run to. No, I think it was a different team. Anyway, you get the point I'm trying to make here. Rivalry matchup, third matchup of the season. Packers and Bears split in the regular season. Let's see what's going on. The Packers are getting relatively healthy again. Obviously, there's still no Micah Parsons on the defense. At least some questions in the air. Bears, they're getting back some of their defensive players, which is definitely good since lately they've been giving up a lot of points on defense, which is not Chicago's forte traditionally. This game to me is a pick 'em. I'm sorry. I know all the Packer loyal and the Cheeseheads are going to be like, how are you going to say a pick 'em? I think this can be a strong pick 'em, and it's really going to rely on how settled in Caleb Williams is going to be. This is his first rookie or his first playoff game as well. And fortunately for him, like Drake May, he has the benefit of playing at home. But we'll see. I honestly think this is a pick 'em. It's going to be a good game Saturday night, prime time on Prime, no pun intended. All right, and then we have our Sunday game, the Niners at the Eagles. Niners better dial it in. It's gonna be a cold one there for sure. Philadelphia will have the weather favorite on that one. If we all remember how the Eagles played in the playoffs last season, the Rams got the closest to beating them. I don't think that's the same type of Eagles team that was in the playoffs last season, but we'll see what's going on. The Niners are going to be getting healthy. They were very close to winning that game against Seattle. I feel like this is going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be like a 18-14 type of game. But albeit it's going to be it's a playoff game. The Niners deserve to be there with their cupcake schedule they've had all season. And Eagles just somehow managed to be there, even though they have no identity offensively, defensively. AJ Brownie, who knows, right? Very interesting stuff. So right now, that's what the playoff matchups are looking like going into this wild card weekend. Another news and update here for you. The NFL, thank God they heard the public. They removed the super from the wild card weekend. I remember last year they called it super wild card weekend, man. Let me tell you. Thank God they called it regular wild card weekend this season. So kudos to the NFL for doing that. All right, moving on here. Obviously, this was the last weekend of the NFL. There was no games on Monday night. So, question is, what is going on with the coaching cycle, right? So, obviously, Black Monday was upon us. The first round of, I guess, the second official round of firings outside of the in-season firing. So, we're looking at head coaches that were fired. The Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, two-time coach of the year. Browns had two playoff wins in the last 23 years. Guess what? He was the head coach of both of those wins. He's going to be at the very high pick of coaching candidates for these openings. Obviously, going back, we had the in-season firings from the Giants of Brian Daboll, the Titans Brian Callahan. The interim head coaches are not expected to be retained. So we had that. We had the Raiders. Pete Carroll, he's done after 1 year with the Raiders. It's been reported by numerous outlets that Tom Brady is going to be heavily involved in the coaching search for the Raiders. So maybe they get something going. Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon after 3 seasons. He was previously the defensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. The first time around against the Chiefs, not the second time. Uh, Most recently, we had Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins being fired. It was widely reported he was going to be retained. He was going to help with the GM search, but it looks like they are finally moving off of him. They want to do a fresh start, clean slate in Miami. Um, what's his name? So there is a quarterback. I'm totally blanking on his name. Troy Aikman. Thank you. Troy Aikman is going to be a consultant with the Dolphins to find a new GM and head coach. Interesting to go to Troy Aikman instead of I don't know, a legendary quarterback they do have in Miami, Dan Marino, right? I I don't know what's up with that, but Aikman's just going to be advising. He's in an advisor role. Um, One of the big firings that happened, or surprising ones, was Raheem Morris of the Falcons. Previous defensive coordinator for the Rams for a couple of years. It's surprising because the Falcons were up and down, but they finished on a 4-game winning streak with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. So everyone thought there was some saving grace there, and Raheem Morris was going to be safe, especially with all of the pieces that Atlanta has in place at key positions, offensive line, running back, skill positions, defensive line, quarterback. They have old reliable Kirko Cousins, and then obviously the protege backup. Excuse me, man. Mustache is super itchy tonight. So the Raheem Morris firing was definitely surprising to a bunch of people. And then, of course, we come to the big moneymaker of them all that got fired. John Harbaugh from the Raiders, done after 18 seasons, one Super Bowl win, 193, 124 overall record, including postseason. He is going to be at the top of the pecking order. And if you're asking for my 2 cents, he goes to the Falcons or the Giants, in my opinion. I think he goes there. I think it would be so funny if he goes and coaches the Browns and Stefanski somehow ends up in Baltimore. Can you imagine just two AFC coaches swapping teams there, man? That would be crazy. But obviously, John Harbaugh is at the top of the pecking order. I did hear Rich Eisen on his show earlier this week. He said if you're the Raiders, you should be calling for Indiana University's head coach and see if he's available. Just like make him say no uh, for the head and for the head coaching position, since he is killing it right now in college football. Indiana's number one ranked uh, team in college football right now. Kirk Signetti, obviously doing his thing. And the poll was, hey, we're going to be drafting your guy Mendoza number one, so why don't you just come coach? But highly unlikely. So right now, that's our open head coaching positions and potential candidates. Further candidates would go a little deeper. Big Mike McCarthy, he's interviewing with the Giants next week, so his name is back on the coaching slide here. Um, and then another interesting one is Cliff Kingsbury of the Washington Commanders. If you guys don't recall, he was the offensive coordinator for the last couple of seasons with Jaden Daniels there. But I guess they came to a conclusion that him and head coach don't see eye to eye with offensive scheme going forward. So they are parting ways. So no one knows exactly what that means with Cliff Kingsbury, if he's seeking a head coach position or a better offensive coordinator position. So that's going to be something to keep an eye out on. And obviously, another one is Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. His contract officially expired at the end of the season. Vikings are looking to retain him, but there's been rumors and suggestions that he's going to get some head coaching interviews with other teams just based on how well he has coached up the Minnesota Vikings the last 3 to 4 years he's been there. So maybe his name gets back, maybe he gets put back into the head coaching circuit, and we'll go from there with him, right? Um, Going forward here, so with the conclusion of the NFL season, we have the official draft order going into the offseason. The first 18 picks have been solidified. Excuse me. Reading these off from Tankathon. I love that website name, Tankathon. We have it solidified. The Vegas Raiders are on the clock. They have the number one overall pick. The consensus is Mendoza from Indiana will be the player they're taking, but who knows? Let's see what's going on here, right? The New York Jets have the second pick. Arizona Cardinals third. Tennessee Titans fourth. New York Giants fifth. Cleveland Browns sixth. Washington Commanders seven. New Orleans Saints eight. Kansas City Chiefs nine. Cincinnati Bengals 10. Now, obviously, this is all subject to change with draft day trades going into it, seeing what's going on. Let's see if the Vegas Raiders trade down. Maybe someone else arrives at number one. So we'll see what's going on with that. But those are the top 10 picks going into the NFL draft for this upcoming season. So we'll see, we'll see what happens with that movement here. All right. Back to the screen share again. All right. Coming off of, let's refresh this web page here. All right. So if you guys didn't watch tonight, Ole Miss versus Miami played in the Peach Bowl. Yeah, Peach Bowl. And this was played in Arizona. Fantastic game. Miami comes away winning 27 to or 31 to 27. Very exciting game through and through. So now Ole Miss is officially out. Miami advances to the college football championship game. And the interesting thing about Miami and the championship game, they're actually going to be having a home field advantage. The championship game for college is being played at Hard Rock Field, where the University of Miami is home to. So this is essentially a replay of like the Rams playing the home game in the Super Bowl, Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing their home game in the Super Bowl, or what a lot of Niner fans want, the Niners playing a home game in the Super Bowl at Santa Clara at Levi Stadium this offseason. So a very wild, very fun game to watch between those two teams. I thought I was pulling for Ole Miss because I was rooting for the underdog team, especially with all the Lane Kiffin stuff going on at LSU, the coaches shuttling back and forth from Baton Rouge to Ole Miss, where they're located at. Right now, only the offensive coordinator and the running back were coaching Ole Miss, and they were going back and forth the whole time doing player recruitment and NIL player transfer portal signings going on at this 2-week window for college football. Tomorrow night, we got Oregon at the Hoosiers. The Hoosiers are a 3.5-point favorite. Can't tell which bowl game this is. Let's see. This is the Peach Bowl. Which one was this one? Oh, this was the Fiesta Bowl. Ole Miss and Miami was the Fiesta Bowl. Oregon, Indiana, the Peach Bowl. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia. Expect a lot of Indiana Hoosier fans showing up at that game. That's going to be another fun one. We got Oregon. Indiana went on the road earlier this season and beat Oregon in Oregon at that loud arena. So they were able to squeak by and get that done halfway through the college football regular season. So it is always hard, as is in the NFL, to beat a team twice, both in the regular season and the off season, or the postseason, excuse me, or if you're a division rival and in the regular season, such as the Packers and Bears, which are coming back to you here. So this one will be a fun game. Personally, my 2 cents, I have Indiana winning out. I think they just have the best team up and down, best head coach in NFL or the college football. They have the number one quarterback, who's also the Heisman winner, Mendoza. It's gonna be a fun game though. Oregon's a nice physical team, very athletic up front as well. So don't expect Oregon to just bend over the way Alabama did against Indiana the week prior. So we'll see what's going on with that game tomorrow night. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and then that's gonna lead us into the college football championship game the following Monday. So that's really all I got for you fellas. I just wanted to hop on here, get some of the main talking points out about the playoffs for the NFL, college football playoffs, and then obviously the big hot buzz of the coaching movement and carousel that's going to begin here rapidly with the NFL. So far, no big news with the transfer portal per se. We're still waiting to hear about that for sure. But yeah, we will all be back on next week for sure. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for catching up on Opinions Mostly. Stay tuned.